All right, so let's just look at how we, in general, keeping all of what we just did in mind, let's look at, in general, how we find the derivative of an inverse function. And what happens is we recognize that this pattern shows up over and over and over again, which allows us to come up with a formula for it. And the formula seems complicated and convoluted, but it's really not. This is just saying if f is a function that's differentiable, that's important, and if f has an inverse function, then f inverse is differentiable, okay? Moreover, the derivative of f inverse can be found by doing the reciprocal 1 over f prime at f inverse of x, okay? So let me show you where this comes from. It is completely fine to just memorize this formula. But if you can't memorize it, there's a way to get to it really easily. And so we're going to take a moment to derive it. Okay? So here's the idea. We know the definition says that f of f inverse of x equals x. That's the whole idea behind an inverse. If you do the function of the inverse, these two things undo each other. F and f inverse cancel each other out. It's like addition and subtraction, or squaring and square root, or e to the x and natural log of x. These are things that are opposites of each other. They cancel each other out, and we have the x. To derive this, it's important to start with f and then have f inverse in the middle. Okay? So now we are actually going to take the derivative of this whole thing from left to right. Okay, so we're going to take the derivative of the left side and of the right side. What we know here is we've got a blow pop issue, right? We've got an inside function and an outside function. So when we do the derivative of a composite function, which is what this is, we take the derivative of the outside first. So we're going to do f prime of f inverse of x times the derivative of the inside. So that's going to be f inverse prime of x. I know it's weird. Okay, so that's the derivative of the left side. And then the derivative of x is just 1. Now, the goal is we want to know, we're actually trying to solve for what f inverse of x is. We want this by itself. Okay, so if we're going to get that by itself, we can just divide by this thing. All right, so if we just do algebra there, we end up with f inverse prime of x equals 1 over f prime of f inverse of x. That's a lot of words, but it's really not that hard. So that's one way to look at it. Okay, that's our formula right there. It's the exact same thing as that. So if this right now is too hard, you can do this every time. You can do that every time to figure out what the derivative is, okay? So, or you can just get to where you memorize it.